The gentlelady from Florida, Congresswoman Cammack, for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to everyone, my colleagues, and welcome to the all-important once every 5 years Farm Bill markup. And I can already tell there's going to be a lot of bless your hearts. But we're going to love each other through it because we are here for something bigger than ourselves. This bill, the Farm, Food, and National Security Act of 2024, is a landmark piece of legislation. In my years of service, this being my third farm bill, have I ever seen a farm bill that does so much for so many? Our producers feed, fuel, and clothe not just our nation, but the world. But we know that the food in our grocery stores just doesn't appear out of thin air. It comes from the hardworking men and women who have made this their profession, heck, their way of life. These men and women come from all walks of life, sometimes beginning farmers, sometimes multi-generational family farmers, but they represent every box you could possibly check, but the most important box that they check is American. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that these men and women are absolutely critical to our national security. It is our job on this committee, heck, our job in Congress, not to stifle our producers, but to strengthen them, to strengthen rural America. And that is what this farm bill does. I want to congratulate the chairman and his team on a monumental effort that has taken place, and this has been years in the making to produce this bill. I also want to take a moment to underscore that this bill has been bipartisan from the very start, open to all Democrats until they upped and walk away, giving up on the process. You know, I've heard from my Democrat colleagues earlier today that this bill isn't bipartisan or reflective of their priorities. In fact, it was said earlier by one of our Democrat colleagues that, quote, "I love it that the gentleman from South Dakota was able to get all 5 of his priorities in the Farm Bill, but that is not bipartisanship. I think any one of us would have loved to have had the opportunity to at least get 1 or 2 of our priorities in," end quote. Now, as we all know, facts don't care about feelings, so here are some facts. This bill, in the base text, includes over 40 Democrat-led initiatives, 40. And of those 40 initiatives, they were specific asks from Democrat members on this committee, the very same members who are claiming that this bill is a wholly partisan undertaking. To say that this is not a bipartisan bill when you know full well that this bill includes your requested priorities, well, back home, we call that chicken shit. For folks back home watching, you're going to hear a lot about SNAP and the so-called cuts to SNAP. As a point of reference for folks back home as well as in this room, the numbers are telling. From 2002 to 2022, SNAP has increased 427%. 427% is how much SNAP has increased in that time period. In that same time frame, Title I, food production title, has been decreased by 71%. I don't care if you subscribe to Common Core math or old school traditional math, that math is telling. And you know, I fear that the recent and confirmed reporting about a directive from Democrat leadership to their members of this committee to tarnish the House Farm Bill is in order to hold out for a better Dem product in the Senate. And I think it's clouding my colleagues' judgment. This hearing is about our farmers, our ranchers and producers, and all Americans. It is not an opportunity to score partisan points or find glory in objecting. As one of the only 2 members representing the Sunshine State, I am so proud to report a sampling of the benefits of the Farm Bill for Florida's farmers, ranchers, producers, and consumers. I'm going to go as quickly as I can down this list. Section 7102, establishing a specialty crop committee. Section 7305, specialty crop research initiative. Section 11002, specialty crop standing block grants authority. A specialty crop market news allocation. A specialty crop advisory committee for crop insurance. A report on the competitiveness of U.S. specialty crops and trade. A modernization of agricultural research facilities by providing funding for Research Facilities Act. A specialty crop mechanization and automation research program. Increased funding for specialty crop research to include mandatory funding levels to $175 million a year, AGI waivers for conservation and disaster programs, eliminating the AGI limitation for those who make 75% of their income from agriculture, a voluntary base update, language designating critical minerals central to agricultural production, such as potash and phosphate, on the critical minerals list, and that is just the beginning. I just rattled off a ton of initiatives that are great wins, not just for Floridians, but for all Americans. This product before us is good work. It is bipartisan and it is fair. It is not only misleading, but it is disingenuous to claim that this bill does not benefit both America's producers and consumers as a whole. We as a committee, as Republicans, Democrats, but most importantly, as Americans, should be proud of this work. Let's get to it. Thank you, Chairman Thompson and the entire farm team for your work. It's time to get to work, and I yield back.
General Lady's time has expired.